cutting sugar doesn't really work. Okay? Because you aren't learning how to get off the roller coaster, right? And just cutting sugar doesn't mean you also aren't eating like bagels and a ton of fruit and still imbalancing your blood sugar. Okay. So this is where like diet culture is tricky, because if you just cut out sugar, you're like pulling the fire alarm and going, oh my gosh, this is an issue. But you're not putting out the fire. Okay. And that's where if we can come in with this really strategic approach of balancing the blood sugar, like learning how to balance, not just cut things out. How can we balance the blood sugar? How can we teach our body and show our body other ways of supporting dopamine and serotonin? How can we balance out those hormones so that progesterone is at an optimal range? How can we balance out our minerals so we're setting ourselves up for success here? How can we get rid of parasites if they're part of the issue and make it so that we're not a perfect host for parasites anymore? Do you see how we're coming full circle here? When we can do all of those things, we can take that functional approach. That's when we see the long-term success of, yeah, I can balance my blood sugar. But you have to be strategic with it, and you have to want to make a change. Something that I see, I'm just going to like point this out, and then you can smack me, is that I will see people go, okay, I get it. I need to bring in more protein. I need to bring in blah, 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 blah. And so they'll be like, okay, so for breakfast, I put collagen in my coffee. Great start. Collagen in my coffee. And I had a protein bar. And then I had a protein bar for a snack. And I had my 30 grams of protein, Leah, for breakfast. I'm like, yeah. But nowhere in there were we focusing on real food. Nowhere in there were we focusing on food volume to help with satiety. So don't just try and hit those numbers of XYZ, because you have to look at your nutrition as a whole. Like, how mineral replenishing was that protein bar? Probably not super great. Another one is, I had someone send a picture of candy and it had no added sugar. And so they're like, this is a great option, but it had erythritol, which is a sugar alcohol, which wreaks havoc on the gut, and sucralose, which, like, oh my goodness, could we talk about how bad sucralose is for you? And red food dye, corn syrup. And I'm like, well, it doesn't have any added sugar, but this also isn't going to be serving you in terms of your goals, in terms of replenishing minerals and balancing blood sugar, blah, 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 blah. So just cutting out sugar, we're not really fixing the issue. Okay. So I hope that gives you some insight there. So here are some steps that you can start coming in. Call it your craving reset. Okay. So let's start, first of all, with stabilizing our blood sugar with hormone plating. So that's what I want to call it. A minimum of 30 grams of protein. I am going to give you chef's kiss if you're focusing on animal protein. Good job. Good job, you. Half your plate non-starchy veggies, and then a quarter fat and carb. And look at your plate and go, where are my minerals? Where are my minerals? Okay? Because you can't just eat a salad. That's not hitting all of our things, okay? Again, another one I see, I ate a salad. I should be balancing my blood sugar. I should feel better. But your salad dressing had 6 grams of added sugar per serving. And what you didn't realize is you put on 4 servings. That's a lot of sugar, okay? I see this with ketchup. Sorry, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but ketchup. Oh my Lieta. Like, I cannot tell you how much this spikes somebody's blood sugar because nobody knows what a serving of ketchup is. And so they go, oh, it's only 4 grams of sugar. And then they realize that they put it on their hamburger and they're dipping their fries in it. And they've actually had 6 servings of ketchup because a serving was 1 tablespoon. Okay. I just wanted to bring that to your thought pattern. Same thing with, barbecue sauce. Same thing. Okay. So when you're looking at your food, let's look at all the nourishment we're getting from it. So where's our protein? Where's our fat? Where's our carb? Where are our minerals? And this is, I hope will help you look at your meal as more nourishment and whole foods versus like, oh, I got protein bars. I got 30 grams of protein and I got my fiber. So check mark. Are you really going to feel nourished? Are you really replenishing your minerals? No, like avocado, nettle, sweet potato, spinach. I'm just thinking of all the things that are high in potassium. Okay.